And finally, let's talk about the ending. Seeing all the overlords joining forces to help Charlie wouldn't be a bad thing per se, but what made it feel so ridiculous was how it was presented. It makes sense that they wouldn't want to die, so it's not like the overlords are joining in because they had a change of heart, but the visuals and the song made it feel as if they weren't just there for survival. This scene felt manipulative in how much it was trying to hit an emotional crescendo that just hadn't been earned. It perfectly encapsulates Hazbin Hotel's schizophrenic nature. We have a show full of fuck, shit, and sex jokes, and in the next scene we have childhood friendship exercises and the power of friendship to save the day. This proves that Hazbin Hotel is a kids show with sex and swearing spread in between to feel more mature. Having everyone team up to fight Vox like Alastor did would have done the same thing without sacrificing tone. Everyone would still work together to save their common realm, which preserves the message, without making canonically evil people's way to a Disney logic. And let's talk about this scene. It's not a problem that Val and Velvet join the circle of friendship. They aren't doing it because they are suddenly good guys, so that doesn't bother me. What really pisses me off was seeing Charlie smile at Velvet and Valentino, especially Valentino.
Take a look!
What the f*** am I looking at?
I tried to put myself in Charlie's shoes and understand what was going on inside her empty head. No matter how I spin it, if I were in Charlie's position and I had a friend who gets constantly abused by a rapist piece of shit, under no circumstances would I ever smile while looking at him, not even if he was helping me with something. Actually, I would only smile at him if he went on trial for what he did and got sentenced to life in prison. One of you under my Charlie video explained that Charlie is actually a narcissist who only pretends to help people to feel better. I don't believe this interpretation, because although Vibzi's writing skills are terrible, this wasn't her intent. And yet, this is the only moment where I doubted whether Charlie was actually a psychopath. This scene is horrible, and it made me despise Charlie even more. Another problem is the complete lack of stakes. For a moment I thought Emily was going to sacrifice herself to save everyone, and I wouldn't have minded it. This isn't because I wanted someone to die, but narratively it would have been interesting. Emily would be the right person to pay for the sins of heaven with her life, because she didn't personally bear any responsibility, but is the type of person who would still pay the price on someone else's behalf. This would also set up an intriguing arc for Sarah next season, and give Lute a very strong casus belli that could split heaven down the middle on whether to make peace or take revenge. And speaking of Emily, I always considered her a heaven reskin of Charlie, and I even put her on my poll for the worst character. But to be honest, I think she's one of the better written characters from this season. She's annoyingly naive, but unlike Charlie, who grew up in hell and still thinks everyone can be redeemed, she grew up in heaven, so her ignorance can be somewhat justified. I think having Emily, an angel hated by the sinners, as the first person to try to destroy the weapon to save them was a brilliant choice, although it highlights how useless Charlie was this season. So I wouldn't call myself an Emily fan, but even she did more than the main character in season 2. Something else that I found weird is the complete lack of consequences for the V's actions. They almost destroyed heaven and hell with a Lucifer-powered weapon, and everyone lets them off easily. They all go back home as if nothing happened, and the V's are free to plan their next scheme without any consequences from other overlords or the angels. I get that this is hell, but they try to invade heaven. And since the deadly scenes canonically exist, where is Satan? Satan punished Stolas for giving the grimoire to Blitz, so why doesn't he do the same for the V's, who almost destroyed everything? In the ending they teased us with the same cliffhanger from season 1. Why show us Lilith in the first season if she did nothing in the second one? It seems like a choice from the writer's part to keep the viewer interested by promising them that if they keep watching they might get to see something cool, rather than actually showing something cool. In this season, the protagonists just racked up embarrassment after embarrassment. Then at the end, the writers woke up and let them make all the progress right up until the last minute. Now the angels trust the sinners, despite a demon threatening them just 2 seconds ago, and hell has magically become a happy place for everyone except Angel, who remembers he still belongs to Valentino. I feel this may sound mean to some of you, but I think the song Guaranteed Trust Us showed us Amazon's marketing strategy regarding Hazbin Hotel. Number 1. Use someone, or in this case, something's popularity. Number 2. When the popularity begins to drop, stir up hate so that people continue to talk about it, but negatively, because hate sells. Number 3. When even that doesn't attract attention anymore, throw the product away. Unless Hazbin Hotel decides to improve the writing, I feel like this is how it's going to end for it. Helluva Boss is already on phase 2, and considering the massive drop in views, it's safe to say we're about to enter phase 3. Hazbin Hotel, at least for now, is between phases 1 and 2. It would be disingenuous to say that Hazbin Hotel Season 2 failed completely, but it didn't make the same bad Season 1 made. The last part of my review came out in January because I have a life outside of making videos, and by now nobody's really talking about it anymore. When season 1 came out, people discussed it for months. I'll give you my opinion as someone who loved the pilot and was anxious to see what the actual show would be like. I fell in love with Charlie because she was innocently naive but not stupid, was curious about Alastor and wanted to see Angel become a better person. When they announced season 1, after 4 years, I wanted to see what would have happened to these characters. But season 1 didn't show me that. It showed me a completely different story. Hell of a Boss followed the same philosophy, starting as a funny tongue-in-cheek series with hitman demons, and then becoming a drama with a crybaby chicken. I personally felt betrayed. By seasons 1 and 2, they failed to live up to expectations in the slightest and offered delusional messages. Furthermore, this product was packaged by people who have no idea what the target audience is. It's too childish to be an adult product, but it features themes and language unsuitable for children. This series is all hat and no cattle. It must be said, however, that Hell of a Boss has taken a major toll on the Hellaverse's reputation. Ever since sarcastic Chorus, rightly in my opinion, dismissed Hell of a Boss as rubbish and dropped the show because of the immense decline in writing quality in the second season, people have finally felt free to say that they don't appreciate the series anymore either. And now Hell of a Boss is considered a trash series, which can also be partially applied to Hazbin Hotel. Plus, Glitch Productions has now started offering alternatives that are often significantly better, so people are leaving the Hellaverse behind. And this whole situation saddens me. When I began watching season 2, I didn't do it thinking, I hope this season will suck. My thoughts were, season 1 didn't live up to my expectations. Let's hope season 2 will be better. I've made a whole series of videos explaining why I think season 2 was bad, but I don't hate Hazbin Hotel. I'm so critical of this show because despite everything, it has some elements I really like, and in the hands of competent writers, it could have been one of the best adult cartoons. I want to end with hope. Hazbin Hotel disappointed me twice, but I still want to believe season 3 will improve. I'm curious to see what Alastor and Lute will do. Hopefully, Lilith will be a good character, Angel Dust will get some character development, and those 2 neurons inside Charlie's brain will grow in numbers. And that was finally it. This will be my last Hazbin Hotel video for a while. I think I dedicated enough of my time to it, and I don't want to touch it again until season 3 comes out. So what happens now? I want to make more content on the amazing digital circus for starters, and I'm also planning a video on Glitch Productions, but I won't tell you what I will discuss. In December, I watched Avatar Fire and Ash, and I have things to say about this movie and the Avatar franchise. I spent the last months of 2025 playing Hollow Knight Silksong, which I loved, and there's a specific element of this game I want to discuss. I have even more ideas, but for now I'll focus on these. I would like to thank you all for watching my videos. Many of you left kind comments that motivated me to keep going, and I also appreciated that, minus a few exceptions, those who disagreed with me explained why rather than just insulting me. All opinions are welcome, as long as they are expressed politely. And by the way, I can't believe I now have more than 600 subscribers. Thank you all so much for your support. As always, thanks for watching and have a great day.